Amigos de Agente 305, estamos aquí en el día después en la cuadra de Brad Cox. Brad, thank you very much for giving us these few minutes and congratulations. That was such an amazing victory of essential quality. Tell me a little bit about did you envision that the race is going to develop that way?
No, I thought they were going a little quicker up front than I thought. I thought he'd be a little bit closer to the pace, say going into the first turn, but it broke. It took him 4 or 5 jumps to kind of get his feet underneath of him and get in the position he needed to be in. I thought Louis did a good job of going into the first turn of using him a bit to get the position he needed. But no, I kind of envisioned a little bit slower pace early on where he would be a touch closer. But look, it worked out. Happy with the result, obviously, and it was a big race and a big day.
When the horse was just when it broke Hot Rod Charlie resistance in the final, I would say the final furlong, what passed by through your mind at that moment?
Well, when he got by, just hoping he'd stay on the last little bit there. Obviously Hot Rod Charlie's a very good horse. We've run against him on a couple different occasions between the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and then we met him with Mandaloon in the Louisiana Derby, and obviously Essential Quality Mandaloon ran against him in the Kentucky Derby. So we've run against him on 3 different occasions, and he shows up and runs a big race every time. He's a very, very good horse. He ran a winning race yesterday. Congratulations to those connections on just a big effort, and it was a big race. He's a very good horse.
Uh, I would like to say, like, I just saw Essential, and as you mentioned this week, this is a horse that he recovers very easy. He looks like he hasn't run.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He looks fantastic this morning. That's obviously a trait in a very good horse is their ability to recover. Post race, they just it just doesn't take as much out of them if it does as say an average horse. So he's obviously a very good horse. He's a champion 2-year-old, and hopefully continue to add to his legacy yesterday. So it was a huge race with a really good time as well. I didn't think the track was super fast yesterday, just based off some of the times earlier in the day. But for him to run a mile and a half in 2:27 was an incredibly good time, I thought. And once again, like you said, he appears to come out of it in great order. So this was very big effort, and very proud of him.
I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the first time that you saw this horse racing, you thought this I'm gonna win the Belmont Stakes with this horse. Is that correct?
I don't know if it was I was going to win, but I was like, "There's our Belmont horse for next year." I think I made the comment like that, but I've said that about some other horses too. I just got lucky here, I guess. But obviously, whenever you see a Tapit, you kind of think of the amount of success he's had in the Belmont. So he just was. It was one of his first works was very impressive, and he continued to stay on and gallop out. And that's one thing that's always made us think that he was a horse capable of getting a mile and a half. So it's pretty unique to find a horse that's capable of breaking their maiden going 3/4 and under 110. I think he was 109 and 4 that day when he broke his maiden. And then to continue on to straight to a mile and 16th grade one as a 2-year-old. He's got an incredible resume, and hopefully he'll pass that on as a stallion down the road. But just very excited and very fortunate to be a part of this horse. And once again, I have to thank the Godolphin team, Jimmy Bell, Dan Pride, Sheikh Mohammed for the opportunity with this colt. He's obviously, a very, very special horse.
Now that you mentioned Sheikh Mohammed, yesterday the Godolphin have a wonderful day. They won the Epsom Derby and the Belmont Stakes.
Yeah, no doubt. They, obviously it's it's a fantastic organization. It's world class, and they just, have a phenomenal breeding program. Obviously, all those horses are homebreds, and some of the best stallions and mares in the world. And it was amazing day for the Godolphin team, and they deserve days like that. They put so much into the game. Sheikh Mohammed obviously is an incredible supporter of the game and has been for so many years, and for he deserves big days, and it's great for him to be able to not only compete but have so much success on the big days.
I know it's like very very early, but do you have in mind next steps for Essential Quality?
I mean, I think we'll talk it over with the Godolphin team, Jimmy Bell, and I think they've made it clear that the Travers would be the goal this summer. How we get there, I don't know. if he would need a race before. But first and foremost, we're gonna, in the meantime, getting back to Churchill. That'll be step one. He's gonna leave tomorrow, and getting back to Churchill, and just let him recover from this race, and chill out and just be a horse for a little bit, and kind of let him tell us where he is as far as how he's moving and mentally and physically out of this race. So we'll see how things, how he looks over the next couple weeks.
While we were, and this is the final question, and because I know you're very busy, while we were recording the interview this week, the news developed about the split test. What's your take on the Mandaloun and the Kentucky Derby situation as we speak right now?
Well, I once again, I haven't actually been contacted by any officials. Everything's just been through the media, and I don't really have a take on it right now. I have enough going on, and there's nothing I can do to control the situation. Therefore, I'll just, play the hand we're dealt, and honestly, I don't really have any feelings either way. Regards what's going on, I just keep our head down, keep doing the job we're going to do, and prepare Mandaloun for next Sunday at Monmouth, and that's what we're going to do with Mandaloun. So, what's the BLB?
And what you're doing is great. Congratulations, Brad, and thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much.
Y así continuamos y cerramos la cobertura de Agentes 305 y directo desde Belmont Park del Belmont Stakes 2021.